British pound, and the euro. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, so far, we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciation in 2022, 2023, and 2024. This level of appreciation has never happened in the history of our country. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, fellow citizens, Ghana cedi no apeke. Cedi no apeke. Mr. Speaker, these gains are largely due to strong fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, improved external sector balance, renewed investor confidence, positive market sentiment, credit rating upgrades, and successfully securing staff level agreement and subsequently the board level approval of the fourth review of the IMF program. Right Honorable Speaker, the cedi rebound signals that Ghana's economic foundations are once again beginning to firm up. Sustaining this stability will require continued fiscal discipline, supportive monetary policy, strong liquidity sterilization, robust reserve accumulation, supported by activities of the Ghana Gold Board, and credible implementation of structural reforms.
So that's the finance minister. More, he talked about something that's critical to all of us, road infrastructure. He listed a number of roads that are going to be rehabilitated, construction happening on some, and upgrading on some of the roads. Over 32 roads, the list of roads that he has mentioned. Let's listen to some of them.
Mr. Speaker, you may recall that Parliament approved that all oil revenue and mineral royalties accrued to the budget were dedicated to the big push. As a result, an amount of 13.8 billion Ghana cedis was allocated in the 2025 budget for the big push program to be used for road infrastructure. So, Speaker, the Minister for Roads and Highways has spent the last 6 months of his time in office touring the whole country to assess firsthand the state of our roads. The Speaker, the Ministry of Roads and Highways has undertaken studies and prepared comprehensive engineering interventions and cost estimates for roads projects across the program, across the country for the Big Push program. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance has since issued commencement authorization for the following road infrastructure projects under the Big Push program. The Speaker, these are the following Big Push projects as approved by the Ministry of Finance. The Speaker, number 1, the construction of a new bridge on the Oti River at Dambai. Number 2, rehabilitation of Wahan Road. 3, upgrading of Tumu Hamile Road. 4, upgrading of Tumu Han Laura Road. 5, reconstruction of Navrongo Tumu Road. 6, rehabilitation of Techiman Nkonsia Wenchi Road. 7, rehabilitation of Wenchi Sola Road. 8, Mr. Speaker, construction of Sunyani Outer Ring Road. Mr. Speaker, the construction of Kumasi Outer Ring Road, Eastern Quadrant. Mr. Speaker, the rehabilitation of Bintri Napanduri Road. Mr. Speaker, the rehabilitation of Dodo Pepeso and Kwanta Road. Rehabilitation of Achimpoku Esukuma Junction Road. Rehabilitation of Esukuma Junction to Enyinawase Road. Right Honorable Speaker, Enyinawase to Ho Titrenu Road. Mr. Speaker, will be upgrading the Akosombo Jakiti Kudikope Road. Mr. Speaker, will be upgrading Esukuma to Enumboso.
And the list of roads continues. In fact, I'm going to, in the course of this program, list for you all the 32 roads that the minister mentioned. But there's another thing that he talked about where he got lots of cheers. He did a comparison of prices of goods
of our nation. Prices of petrol and diesel at the pump have reduced significantly to the benefit of consumers, and the price of sugar, rice, and cooking oil at a 4-year low. Mr. Speaker, the price of 25 kilogram bag of Royal Aroma rice, which used to be sold at 650 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 356 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the price of a lonka of sugar, which used to be sold for 50 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 44 Ghana cedis. Right, Honorable Speaker, price of 25 litre of cooking oil, which used to be sold for 980 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 640 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, price of konkonte, 1 sack. Price of konkonte, 1 sack, which used to be sold for 1,200 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 950 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, a ton of iron rods, which used to be sold at 9,400 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold at 7,500 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, onions. 1 paint bucket, which used to be sold at 120 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 95 Ghana cedis. Right, Honorable Speaker, POP cement, which used to be sold for 115 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 90 Ghana cedis. The Speaker, maize, 1 sack, which used to be sold for 1,600 Ghana cedis in January, is now being sold for 1,450. And Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Agriculture has promised that it will go down even more. Mr. Speaker, the price of Yas sanitary pad, which was 25 Ghana cedis in January, is now going for 15 Ghana cedis. 15 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, palm fruit, 1 olonka, which used to be sold for 40 Ghana cedis, is now being sold for 25 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, this is the reset President Mahama promised. This is the reset President Mahama promised. It has been 6 months of hard work. We have lessened the burden on households and businesses.
That's Dr. Kezola Tufosin, MP Ejumakwenyane, Minister for Finance, delivering the mid-year budget review to the House of Parliament. The minority side staged a walkout before he began the presentation. We'll be analyzing some of the things he said when we come back. Meanwhile, let me know what your views are on what the Finance Minister said to the House of Parliament. The WhatsApp number is 0549-986-996, 0549-986-996. Go on Twitter, now known as X, and send your messages by mentioning my handle at Umar Rusanda or at Citi973. Use the hashtag Eyewitness News. We'll be back with more. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Wale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Life doesn't always go as planned. Maybe you dreamed of earning a degree, but something got in the way. Losing a parent, financial struggles, or life just happening. But what if I told you it's not too late? At Cracks Training Institute, we believe in second chances. With the ABE Level 6 program, your dreams are back within reach. If you hold an HND or a 2-year diploma and have valuable work experience, this is your opportunity. The ABE Level 6 is recognized by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, and equivalent to a bachelor's degree. But that's not all. It also qualifies you to enroll in any university in Ghana for a master's degree. And here's the good news. Admissions start this August. This is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. Take the first step towards rewriting your story. Call us today at Cracks Training Institute on 0552 222217, 0552 222217, or visit cracks.edu.gh.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let me bring some of your messages. And Peter Kugre from Tema says, so the minority staged a walkout from the budget and still expect the president to consider their so-called petition. This mini minority is really taking Ghanaians for a ride. Daniel in Sandema says, today's media budget review proves the NDC is fixing the mess left by the Akufo-Addo administration. The city is stabilizing, inflation is under control, and debt restructuring is on track. All thanks to the competent, focused leadership of His Excellency President Mahama. Njoya Bright in UK says, for the first time in 8 years, we have a finance minister who quotes economic figures to inspire hope rather than quoting the Bible and wearing a white shirt. Ghana will rise again. Abba and Papa Abba. Zilis Dwayne in London says, great budget and brings some hope to Ghanaians. Al Hassan in Noini South says, the MPP walked out of Parliament of Ghana out of shame and disgrace. They were very uncomfortable listening to Ato forcing fixing their mess. Ghana is indeed moving in the right direction. Akate Raymond from Agoti Mekweto says the performance of NDC in just 6 months is irritating the MPP micro-minority, and they have no other alternative but to flee from the chamber with empty lamentations. Tia Malik from Sangmini in the Northeast region says, we are so grateful to His Excellency President Mahama. He should continue exploring his leadership experience and his hard work for our mother Ghana. Godwin from Pando says, since when has the MPP been concerned about electoral violence? They were in power during the incidents of Ayawaso West, Techiman, and Awutu Senya. Why didn't they petition the government at the time? My simple question is, does their current petition include the violence that occurred in Ayawaso, Techiman, and Awutu Senya? Alex in Adenta says, this Apiki media budget review is very, very heartwarming, and Ghanaians are in safe hands under the presidency of Mahama. Akins in Tema says, the MP minority MPs are now running away from their duties as watchdogs to the ruling party, who is going to debate or oppose the budget. Let's go to the House of Parliament and speak to one MP who did not boycott or did not stage a walkout. He is Tamale North member, Sanrego member of Parliament in the Northern region. He is a member of Parliament. Honorable Atasia Isa, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Mara, for the opportunity.
Did you anticipate your colleagues on the other side walking out, and what do you make of their walkout?
So, I think that, let me say good evening to you and to your listeners. In fact, we took the intelligence line of yesterday about this intended walkout. Because yesterday, the indication we took from their caucus was that they had a petition to submit to His Excellency the President, and then they will be marching to the Jubilee House to present their petition. In fact, originally we were planning to have this media budget review at 10 a.m. this morning. But for the sake of their petition and all those issues that they brought out, it was shifted to 12 o'clock. So if you look at the flyer that advertised today's program, today's program was supposed to start at 10. But because of their intended submission of petition to the Jubilee House, we shifted it to 12 midday. And they still walked out. So for me, I think that, and in fact, frankly speaking, in the House, we were all privy to some of the things that we should expect in the budget. So I knew very well that they want to just create another spare news that will be competing with that of the budget presentation like we are doing right now. So now it's about the boycott and also the good news that has been brought by the finance minister. That was the objective of it.
Let's talk about what you call the good news that was brought by the finance minister. What are the good things for the people of Sanogo, for instance, in today's budget?
The good news for the Sanogo constituency is just like the general good news that every Ghanaian expected to hear, which they have heard today. So if you look at, for example, in fact, ordinarily, what number characterized media review has always been tax handles or tax increases, also a reflection of global economic factors that impacts our domestic revenue projections and all those. That number occasioned a media review. This is not typical of the usual that we used to see. This is the type of media review that I will call a good news review, because everything that was said today will inure to the benefit of every Ghanaian, irrespective of the constituency that the person comes from. So, for example, we were of the view that as of March 2025, when the finance minister read the budget, we anticipated that at least it will be a stronger than expected fiscal performance, and that has been the critical factor that concerns this nation. In fact, it's a result of fiscal indiscipline and fiscal imbalances that even led us to the IMF. And it will interest you to know from the finance minister, by the end of June, that was last month, Ghana at 1.1% GDP deficit. But you and I know that from the end of year last year, we had 3.8%, and we have just brought it to 1.1% of GDP. In fact, the analysis simply reflects disciplined spending. People used to say that the finance minister is not spending. The current budget performance is 63%, and we are just around the 7th month. So if we are saying he's not spending, and yet we are getting this macroeconomic improvements. So I know that the gains that we are getting in terms of fiscal stability and macroeconomic stability is as a result of the prudent spending, and then reckless borrowing is now no more the lexicon. Now we are doing prudent borrowing. In fact, we are borrowing in 2025 by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis negative, meaning that we are not going to borrow an amount of 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. On the issue of the economic growth, if you remember the NPP, they said that, we inherited a growing economy. Same time last year, the NPP were growing at 4.4%. And this year, first quarter, we grew by 5.3%. Inflation currently, as we speak, has seen 6 months consecutive drop to 13.7%. In fact, end-year inflation for last year was just 23.8%. Now we are experiencing some level of disinflation that is ongoing right now. And it is good for businesses and households, especially when we soften the price pressures that people have to pay as a result of the downward trend. The good news also is that now there can be that level of predictability for businessmen and women in Sanogo constituency as a result of the stable currency and that of the forex stability. The central bank has kept the policy rate at 28% in May, and they anticipated that in July it will not change when they do their meeting. And in quarter one or half year, Ghana posted 5.6 billion trade surplus and $3.4 billion current account surplus, with the Citi appreciating by over 42.7%. This is good news for businesses. Now businesses can plan. Now also, in the forex market, Bank of Ghana has pumped in over $1.9 billion into the forex market. So there's always surplus in terms of forex. And it means the exchange rates are more stable, reducing uncertainties in the market for importers and lowering the cost of imported goods. That is what the finance minister demonstrated by selecting some few goods, bread and butter issues, the price of oil, the price of maize or bark, sugar, and all these day-to-day consumption items that we spend our resources on as a citizen and as a country. You can see that there is a marginal improvement in those things. In fact, despite all these gains, the finance minister is always cautious of our budget measures and structural reforms as enshrined by the IMF provision. In fact, in the budget, we have scrapped e-levy, betting tax, and we promised to scrap COVID-19 levy. If you look at Newsroom 74, we stated that we will cancel the COVID levy in 2026. Currently, the VAT reforms is currently ongoing and is expected to be completed in August, which will reflect a November budget that will be presented for the 2026 fiscal year. In fact, today, every MP gives you a standing ovation because of the Big Push program. As we speak, they have identified the Ministry of Works and Highways has identified 166 constituencies, and Facility Fallow is part of those constituencies that will benefit 10 kilometers of roads annually for the next 4 years. So each constituency will have 40 kilometers of road and the 66 constituencies. This is a boost for the good people of Salabo. And I think the Beach Proof program should be supported, and the government has allocated 13.85 billion cedis to do that. So we know that improved social services and physical infrastructure are principal across communities. Currently, works are ongoing, procurements are being done for even resurfacing and regathering of selected roads across the country. Also, we must note, we are not the type of government that will pride ourselves by celebrating with cake and e-levy cake and all those, and kinky party and all those things. The finance minister admitted that we are not out of the fiscal distress yet. They said poses some fiscal stress that can affect us when we are not careful. For example, Ghana export earnings has increased as a result of the global increase in price of gold and oil and that of cocoa. So what happens in a situation where there is a crash in terms of price reversal? It means that as a country we will suffer some level of external shocks. The finance minister is always aware of the wage bill. I was astonished when about 53,000 goods needs in separated staff account, people drawing out money to a tune of about 154 million Ghana cedis. We also had about 14,000 goods workers in the public sector. So we are the officers validating, and I think that's the direction that as a country we need to focus on. Customs also outlined that there is some revenue shortfalls. Averagely, the GRA has posted above performance in terms of our target at the beginning of the year, though there is still domestic challenges with regards to the custom collection. And he mentioned the issue of San Council and other communities that will be pursued to make sure that every resources that is accrued to this country is collected. And then the smuggling of the marine oil gas that he talked about. These are persistent threats that can push us back to the fiscal distress position. We also still have the 53 billion Ghana cedis negative equity of the Bank of Ghana. We also still have a lot of high debt distress of state-owned enterprise. About 32 billion Ghana cedis is still in our books. We also have ECG 68 billion Ghana cedis is still in our books. These are some of the threats that can impact our collective resolve moving away from the distress economy that we inherited. Tomorrow, let me just summarize what I just said. What Ghanaians should expect today, or the things that we want Ghanaians to look for today, is that prices are on the downward trajectory. In fact, even before the budget presentation, we had even done a caution to the producers of cement to reflect the economic and social realities of our times in the price buildup of cement. Also, we are seeing that the city is becoming stronger, and the forex shocks are also being eliminated slowly. In terms of the fiscals, what we are saying is that lower than expected deficit discipline spending has also been occasioned as a result of prudent fiscal management strategy employed by the finance minister. Ongoing social services, currently, all people with disability who have admissions into the universities are enjoying the no fee stress policy. First year admission, people who are admitted into first year universities and other public institutions are also earning the no fee stress policy. We're also doing the apprenticeship program and many other programs. So the public trust is regained again in the government of Ghana. That's what I'll say about it.
Were you a journalist in your past life? Because you've done a summary report for me on what the minister has said. Were you once a journalist?
No. In fact, that is a situation of a happy man.
I know.
A happy MP.
I know. It's just on the lighter side. Now, one question before you go. The road infrastructure he talked about, it's great, it's big, it's expensive. Do you have the money for it?
Yes. In fact, the finance minister has already allocated 13.85 billion Ghana cedis, and it is sitting in the accounts of the road fund. In fact, as we speak, by September, the finance minister will release another 13.85 to cover the entire 2 years of the big fish. President Mahama wants to make committed to agriculture for economic transformation, the big push program, and the 24-hour economy. We cannot achieve anything under those things when we don't open up the economy. We don't create viable value addition for our production capacity. That's why we are developing the Water Corridor initiative, and that of the Northern, connecting to Burkina Faso and Cote d'Ivoire. these are ways to open up, to take advantage of the Intercontinental Free Trade Agreement. We believe that Ghana can position itself to be the enviable hub that will promote trade intensity and coverage in Africa. In fact, the IMF and the World Bank postulated after we signed the agreement, they will believe that by 2020, we were supposed to do 50% of the total trade volumes Africa has with the rest of the world in Africa. So there exists a market for our goods and services. Now, Ghana wants to lead this enviable role to serve as a trading hub that connects many other parts of Africa through the international trade agreements that we are signing currently. So for me, road infrastructure will be done massively. And Umaru, this is not the type of government that will say we constructed 10,000 kilometers of roads that you can trace. These ones are feasible. You see it happening. In fact, as we speak, reshaping and regraveling and resurfacing are currently ongoing across the country. And this is the type of governance Ghanaians will look for, and they are getting the full benefit of it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Honorable Ataisa is NDC Member of Parliament for Sanarigu. Like I said, the NPP MPs boycotted the sitting today. So I'm not sure whether they can even comment about the budget that was presented. When we get their leaders, we'll ask them if they would take part in the debate on the floor of the House of Parliament. But they went to do other things, which we'll be talking to them about. They moved out of the chamber and went to do the presentation of petitions on Ablekuma North. They said there's lots of violence that they wanted the government to deal with. And so we're doing that. But on general, what do you make of the statement delivered by the Minister for Finance, Kezala Tuforsin? He says the CD is doing so well. Piki, he says, he talks about roads, and I'm going to just list for you the 32 roads that he said they were going to construct. So he said the Ministry of Finance has since issued commitment authorization for the following road infrastructure projects under the Big Push program. Number 1, construction of a new bridge on the Uti River at Dambai. Number 2, rehabilitation of Wahan Road. Number 3, upgrading of Tumuhan Mili Road. Number 4, upgrading of Tumuhan Lora Road. Number 5, reconstruction of Navrongo Tumu Road. Number 6, rehabilitation of Techiman Nkonsia Wenchi Road. Number 7, rehabilitation of Wenchi Sola Road. Number 8, construction of Suyani Outer Ring Road. Number 9, construction of Kumasi Outer Ring Road, that's the Eastern Quadrant. Number 10, rehabilitation of Bintri Nakpanduri Road. I'll come back and continue with the list. Let me speak to Professor Patrick Assuming he's an economist. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Clearly, you did not boycott today's budget reading. I'm sure you watched it from your TV set. What's your assessment of what the minister did today?
Good evening, Larry, and good evening to listeners. Thanks for having me. Absolutely, I didn't boycott it. And followed. I think, the budget review brings a rather positive performance of the government in the first 6 months or so. I think we had already known that the key macroeconomic indicators we are performing them. We knew that the GDP was stronger than before, than projected. We knew that the inflation is coming down faster than anticipated. We knew about the currency, and we knew about our import bill, the gross international reserves. I think it was also good to see that we are also keeping up with our fiscal targets, and in most of them are performing them. If you look at the primary balance on both cash and commitment basis, which is the primary anchor for IMF program, the government is definitely ahead of target. So I think it was good to see. And I think it was also good to see that we are planning to restart some of the projects that have been put on hold. There's a long list of priority projects that the government indicated. So I think that all of that was good to see. One of the big things that we are looking forward to was the vast reforms. It's obvious that we are not ready to roll them out, but at least the finance minister says the process are ongoing. So overall, I think the budget that was read was generally paint a very positive picture picture of the direction of the economy.
So if he paints that picture, is that picture supported by facts, so that if the minister says we are not out of the woods yet, but the prospects, the future prospects are good, is that the reality on the ground? I mean, using painting of a picture sounds figurative to me.
Well, I think so much of the data that has been presented, thankfully, the full documentation of the review of the IMF program was posted, I think, earlier this month. So you've got the benefit of seeing what has been submitted to the IMF. And in the main, they also paint a very positive picture of where the economy is headed. So if you balance them out, and of course, some of the information comes from the Ghana Statistical Survey. So I think, and there are some of them that we've all been living in. The strengthening of the currency is something that we've all seen. So I don't think it's a misleading picture of where the economy is headed, if I should answer in that way.
In the meantime, between now and the next time the main budget would be presented or should be presented, what should the government guard against, or what should the finance minister guard against to maintain the stability we are seeing now?
So maybe I'll start, before going to guard against, I think I'll start with what we should be more proactive about. What should be more proactive about, I think, is being aggressive in implementing the programs that are supposed to transform the real structure of our economy. I think, and that lands, as far as the government is concerned, on the implementation of its main programs, the 24-hour economy, the irrigation projects, and other things. These are critical because what has brought us the progress we've seen so far, are actually relatively easier to do, and those have to do with reforms in the monetary and the financial sector. Those ones are easier to improve and change. The harder part and the bigger challenge that will be ahead of us is how we will begin to restructure the economy so that even if our export items are not doing well, because we have built a more robust economy, which is production and productivity driven, you'll be more resilient to external shocks. You notice that part of the reason why especially our external balance has been doing well is that the global prices have been in our favor. Now, we know that those are cyclical. Sometimes they go in your favor, sometimes they go not in your favor. So I think we should not be complacent, and it's good that the finance minister says himself admits that this is only the beginning and that there's still a lot of work to be done. So I will rather hope that we begin to put more emphasis on the real sector reforms that will fundamentally create or change how the economy works. That's where job creation will come from. That's where productivity will come from.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Good evening to you. That's Professor Patrick Isumin. He's an economist. Let me finish for you the list of roads that the minister announced as part of the big push. So from number 11, rehabilitation of Dodo Pepesu Nkwanta Road. In fact, I've heard this road's name from since I started listening to radio. I don't know, but Dodo Pepesu, it's always been in the budget. I don't know. Rehabilitation of Atimpoku Asikuma Junction Road. That's number 12. Number 13, rehabilitation of Asikuma Junction Anyirawasi Road. Number 14, reconstruction of Anyirawasi to Ho Titrinu Road. Number 15, upgrading of Akosombo Jekiti Kudikopa Road. Number 16, upgrading of Asikuma to Enum Boso Palime Road. Number 17, upgrading of Adomi Bridge to Akwemufi Road. Number 18, rehabilitation of Ho Petwe Road. Number 19, rehabilitation of Petwe Afiadeningba Road. That road is very bad. Number 20, rehabilitation of Afiadeningba to Penny Road. Another very, very bad road. Number 21, rehabilitation of Fenyi to Aflau Road. That road cannot even be described as bad. It's horrible. Forgive my commentary. Number 22, dualization of Winneba Mankesim Road. That's something we've been praying for all these years. Number 23, dualization of Cape Coast Takrady Road. Long overdue. It's part of the West Africa Trans Highway. We need to do that. 24, rehabilitation of Mankesim Ejumaku Breman Asikuma Agona Swedru Road. That I do not know. Rehabilitation of Tema Aflau Road. That's happening, I think. So it says section 1. Number 26, reconstruction of Dodowa Afienya Dowenya Road. That's my district. I'll be very happy to see that road done. And number 27, upgrading of Oyibi Apollonia Afienya Road. Please do that one, I beg you. Number 28, construction of Enchi Elubo Road. Number 29, construction of Dadiasu Akontamra Road. Number 30, upgrading of Ajufua Ose Kujo Road, Ose Kujo Krum Road. Number 31, upgrading of Enchi Kujoru Pechi Road. And finally, number 32, upgrading of Bediaku Junction to Camp 15 Sefi Adabokrum Road. So that's what the finance minister has announced today in terms of road projects that would be constructed. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Like I said earlier, the minority staged a walkout. They did not stay to listen to the media budget presentation. They went instead to deliver petitions on the violence that we saw in the Ablekuma North constituency. One of the MPs who went on that delivery of petition is Honorable Isaac Buamanyako, his MPP Member of Parliament for Ifia in the Western region. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, my brother. I hope you are doing well today.
I'm doing well, thank you. You were not in Parliament, but maybe while you were in your car on your way to Jubilee House, you possibly have listened to Citi FM. You heard the Minister of Finance. Do you have a comment on what he said?
Well, it is no news. I'm yet as a member of the Finance Committee to fully read it. I have a copy now. But of course, it's just a media review of the state of the economy. It's a statement that is supposed to reflect the reality on the ground. We heard of all the crises that the Minister of Finance was keeping in terms of the stability of the economy. We talked about the exchange rate stabilization and reduction. We talked about inflation. But the point is that beyond all of this, what has been the net effect upon the living standard of Ghanaians? What is the rate of employment? People who are employed have been dismissed. Government has not improved unemployment. We're talking about the state of insecurity in this country, where people just won elections that they are supposed to go and hold 19 police stations. It leads to mayhem. It leads to maiming of people. We are talking about Ghanaian students outside this jurisdiction or scholarship that governments have not paid, which is an embarrassment upon the good people of this country. We are talking about the alarming rates of galamsey, which is eating into the very fabric of our corridors, all the routes. When you talk about the routes in this country, when you talk about the city centers, even the headquarters of the president's hometown, they are all devastated with galamsey. So it depends on the angle that you want to take it, but I'm unimpressed with many of the things that the minister have said, because it doesn't reflect on the ground upon improving the lives of the good people of Ghana.
Very well. I have a question. You worked out on the President's Minister of Finance when he came to present to you the media budget. You refused to give him audience, and yet you went to the Jubilee House expecting the President to give you audience with your petition. Is that not double standards? Maybe hypocritical? Maybe a shame?
Not at all. You know, as members of Parliament, we have various tools that we use to express our displeasure about the way things are done. And then the issues that we wanted to bring the nation's attention to, the principal officer of the state responsible for ensuring security is the President of the Republic. The Finance Minister is not coming to Parliament to ask for a budget increase or any other thing. He is just coming to read to us a statement that we know is not going to change anything about the lives of Ghanaians. So we needed to place emphasis on expressing our displeasure about some of these things to His Excellency the President. And it's important that the number one officer of the state is made aware of our displeasure on the issues around Ablekuma, not where he has not spoken, where people have behaved with impunity and not much has been done about it. And here we are talking about another by-election possibly. So if we are not careful, we are drawing this country into mayhem. We are going to destroy the little democracy that our forebears gave to us. And so it's very important that we take it serious as a country. What we are doing is not about MPP. You in the studio, you are having your peace and tranquility because of the stability that we have. But if we allow this electoral violence to degenerate into certain corners, even the media will not be able to have its peace.
That's very true. But since I came on air, people have been texting me asking if you guys, the minority side, were in parliament and in this country when the Ayawaso West Wagon violence happened. By every standard, the violence we saw in Ayawaso West was way, way higher than what we saw in Ablekuma North. And they're asking why you didn't petition the president at the time. Why are you doing it now?
The president took action. Remember, a commission of inquiry was set up. People that were found culpable were arrested and they were prosecuted.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
You can go back and check. Wasn't a commission of inquiry?
Yes, I'm talking about the prosecution part, because I remember the headline was Wabum free for the one who slapped Sam George at the time. Nothing happened to that person.
That was prior.
Yeah, but that person, nothing happened to that person, the one who slapped the member of parliament.
So if someone slaps a member of parliament like Sammy George, it is as condemnable as someone stepping on the stomach and the abdomen of our Kumsin. So I wasn't a member of parliament then, but once I'm a member of the MPP, I take responsibility, and if the government didn't act well, we all have a right to condemn it. And so we learn from our past. We learn from our mistakes of the past.
Okay.
If we condemn it yesterday, why are we not condemning it today? If it happened yesterday, do we have to perpetrate it today? So I will never glorify wrong. I will never say that what happened in Ayawaso West Wagon is something that we should be proud of in nation. And how many years down the line, and look at what is happening in Ablekuma. So it means that if we allow what happened in Ayawaso West Wagon to persist as we saw in Ayawaso in Ablekuma not today, then you can never guarantee what happens tomorrow. And that is why we need to take action today to stop it.
Very well. Did the president?
As a country, we need to stop it.
Did the president?
If it happened yesterday and it is wrong, it is wrong. And I will never endorse what happened in Ayawaso West Wagon.
Did the presidency say anything after receiving the petition from you?
We've not heard from the president. The chief of staff and the deputy chief of staff came along with Sandugu to receive it. They acknowledged receipt and said they were going to study and then we were going to hear from them. I am expecting the president as a matter of about this by tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, as a country, we need to take some of these concerns seriously.
Okay.
We represent a minority. We represent a good section of the people of Ghana. We represent the voice of the voiceless. Okay. And so when these things come, don't let us politicize it.
Well.
Don't let us make it an MPP NDC affair.
Last question.
We are looking at a country we are building.
One last question before you go, and this question is coming from what I've again observed on social media. People are saying, so human beings can actually demonstrate and go into the Jubilee House, a thing that didn't happen when you were in power. Today you have been allowed to come all the way to the, not to the main gate, but inside, and you are not one or two, you are many MPs, and you are allowed to come, and you are received by the chief of staff and his deputy. People are saying that you are having things done for you, things you didn't do for others in the past.
I'm surprised anybody would say that people were never allowed to Jubilee House to go and present petitions. We are sent notice. We are sent notice to the presidency. They had acknowledged receipt of our notice. They gave us a time to come and present it. Though we entered the premises of Jubilee House, we never entered Jubilee House properly, so-called, but we never complained. The most important thing is that send your message across, and that was what we did.
Okay.
I don't have any reason why, if someone wants to submit a petition to the presidency, in time past I had seen people submit petitions to the presidency and they've been received. So it's just a matter of respect for the democracy that we do. And these are members of parliament who are representing constituencies. And so I think it is the beauty of democracy. Nobody should have any bad feeling about it. It is our right. The presidency have shown respect, and we need to acknowledge it. The most important thing is that the concerns raised ought to be acted upon and ought to be acted upon very strictly.
Finally, yes or no, will you take part in the debate on the budget, media budget?
Why not?
Okay.
Right.
Even though you still
there was a paper at the finance committee level to look at the energy levies. You know, and when we participated, we just finished it, just that it's now on the floor for deliberation and we are not there. We have a responsibility towards the state, and we are going to do that for the betterment of the good people of Ghana.
Thank you so much, Honorable Isaac Boama Nyako. He's the NPP Member of Parliament for Efia in the Western Region. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Still unbeatable. Republic Bank has slashed the Citi mortgage interest rate to a new low. That means it's more affordable to own your dream home. You enjoy lower monthly installments, save on interest payments, flexible loan arrangements, and more. Make the move. Own your home at a lower teen interest rate. But hurry, this offer lasts for a limited time. Visit any Republic Bank branch or send email to myhome@republicghana.com or call Accra 054-0109-649. Kumasi 054-0109-901 to apply today and enjoy a teen interest rate. Republic Bank, with the one for you.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Ah, go me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they cost my mindset be the 3-in-1 action. No, Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. One pair way now there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, they make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you have the Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Ma, have you received the delivery?
See on the rider's bay. Send in the momo.
Okay, *176.
Pauko. Don't you use a smartphone? Use the momo app, ne?
Huh? App.
Hey, I want to say millennium, say millennial. Oh, millennium for nyazi. Switch to the app. Why you smart? And why you secure? Enter a world of possibilities with the Momo app. Be your favorite merchant, pay utility bills, and borrow from our wide range of lending services. Move to the app side today. MTN.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ijubi Wiafe Akentin. Let's settle for the details. And Finance Minister Dr. Kessie Alteforsen has affirmed that the country will stay the course on its 2025 macroeconomic targets despite economic uncertainties both at home and abroad. According to him, economic developments in the first half of the year do not necessitate any revisions to the government's fiscal and macroeconomic plans. Presenting the mid-year budget review to Parliament, Dr. Alteforsen said government will not seek any additional funds in the mid-year budget review. Rather, it will stay within the approved spending limits set in March.
Economic developments in the first half of the year do not warrant a revision to the macroeconomic target and the appropriations bill. The Speaker, I am not asking for additional money from the Appropriations Act. We maintain the following macroeconomic target for 2025. 1. Overall GDP growth at least 4.0%. At least. Non-oil GDP growth of at least 4.8%. End year inflation rate of 11.9%. Primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. And gross international reserves covering not less than 3 months of import. So, Speaker, progress. We are cautiously optimistic. Despite maintaining our macroeconomic target for 2025, including the primary balance on commitment basis of a surplus of 1.5% of GDP, we are revising both revenue and expenditure projections to reflect the impact of the additional revenue.
You heard Finance Minister Dr. Kesiel Atoforsen. Now, domestic airline operator Passion Air says it has received fuel stocks to sustain operations, averting anticipated disruptions to domestic flights at the Kotoka International Airport. This comes amid a notice to airmen issued by the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority warning of a potential shortage of aviation fuel in Accra between July 22 and July 27, 2025. Head of Corporate Affairs at Passion Air, Samuel Abdul Razak, tells Citi News that contingency plans have been activated to maintain scheduled operations.
Currently, our flights are operating. This morning we heard the good news that we've received stock. As a matter of fact, it wasn't a shortage. The notam that was released a couple of days ago was actually advising the airlines to anticipate. And so from our end, it had a tendency to affect some of our operations. But fortunately, this morning, most of our flights that were suspended have been reinstated. And so as we speak, all our flights are operating.
Samuel Abdurazak also assured passengers of the continued safety of all flights, urging the public to disregard any concerns arising from the fuel supply situation.
The traveling public has no cause to worry. We are here to ensure their safe travel to and from wherever they're going to. And so we, as an airline, we have safety and the comfort of our passengers as our priority. And so we do everything in our power to ensure that they arrive safely. I would entreat all customers that have reservations with us to proceed to the airport today and even tomorrow and the days ahead, checking board your flight and have a smooth flight to your destination.
Samuel Abdurazak is head of corporate affairs at Passion Air. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has denied recent media reports suggesting a shortage of aviation turbine kerosene ATK fuel in the country, assuring the public and the aviation sector that there is sufficient supply to support all aircraft operations. In a press release issued today, the ministry described the reports as false and misleading, stating that Ghana currently has adequate reserves of ATK fuel. The ministry attributed the temporary speculation to scheduled maintenance work recently carried out on the ATK jetty pipeline for fuel handling at the ports. Now, Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare has inaugurated a new governing board for the Ghana Exports Promotion Authority (GEPA), urging the members to scale up efforts to increase the country's export volumes. She stressed that a stronger export performance is critical to shoring up Ghana's foreign exchange reserves, a development which will be key in stabilizing the local currency. At the inauguration ceremony, Elizabeth Ofusue-Jare noted that the diverse makeup of the board should be leveraged to advance GEPA's objectives.
All that we are doing as a Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry is to ensure that we are able to boost our exports. Once we boost our exports, the foreign exchange matter will even improve. Once we do that, there is a lot of jobs that we can create. We also are producing more. Once you get the point where you are exporting more, it means that you're also producing more for import substitution. And so we are not playing with export, and I'm sure that this board has what it takes. At the end of 1 year, they should be able to account for a stewardship which says that this board was able to steer the affairs of the export space to the point that now our export volumes are very high.
Elizabeth Ofosue-Jare is Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejubi Wiafe Akinting. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Your family's health should never be a worry, no matter where you are in the world. Are you a Ghanaian in the diaspora, a foreign resident in Ghana, or a Ghanaian looking for the perfect health insurance plan for yourself or your family in Ghana? Then the Apex Ebusiapa health cover is what you need. A comprehensive health insurance plan to protect your loved ones. From hospital stays to life-saving treatments, we ensure quality healthcare at an affordable cost. Apex Ebusiapa health cover. You don't just send love home, you secure it. Visit Apex Health Insurance at Zion House, Bondi Road, Shashi East Legon, or call 0540-128-256 or 0501-683912. Apex Ebusiapa Health Plan. Global love, local care.
Hot pepper powder. This advert is FDA approved.
Oh, jump on now. Go, go. Ah, go me. I want that way you can't park where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they boss my mind says be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open there.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand they go be inside?
I give you info. Make a feel the go be too small.
Go, the go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
30 years ago today, Ghana lost its sitting president, Professor John Evans Atta Mills. The Asunju, as he was called, passed away at the 37 hospital. I remember reporting to Shamima Muslim at the time on Eyewitness News from the 37 military hospital in Accra on the situation there. 13 years on, his party is back in office, and today the government held a commemorative wreath-laying service for him or in his honor. The President John Dramani Mahama, who was vice president and who was sworn into office as acting president around the same time that day, was at the ceremony today. He reflected on the legacy of the late professor and said the current reset agenda that he is pursuing is to the foundation that was laid by Professor Mills's Better Ghana agenda. Recall that Mahama was vice president to Professor Mills at the time. Let's listen to President Mahama.
Exactly 13 years today we lost a very great man. The weather, I remember, was exactly the same. And after his death for many months, the weather in Accra remained overcast and cold. There was a certain cold, that swept over the land. And so today is almost exactly like the same day that the unfortunate tragedy overtook this country. So let me proceed on the established protocol, but acknowledge two important persons, Her Excellency our Vice President Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman and the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Alban Bagbin, and our party executives, Council of Elders, and all the many friends and family of Atta Mills who have gathered here today. We have gathered here once again on this sacred ground we call Asumdwe Park, under the gentle shade of remembrance to mark the 13th anniversary since the passing of a man whose life, leadership, and legacy continues to speak profoundly to the conscience of our nation from his grave. 13 long years may have passed, but for many of us, the pain of Professor John Evans Atta Mills' departure would always remain fresh. His sudden transition on July 24, 2012 left not only a deep vacuum in our political and national life, but also in the hearts of those who knew him well and worked with him and were touched by his quiet strength and unwavering humanity. This annual moment of reflection is not just a ceremonial act. It is a national duty and an occasion for us to pause and remember the values that guided the man we honor today, which were humility, integrity, discipline, and above all, peace. Professor Mills was a rare breed of leader. He stood tall not just in intellect, but also in his moral stature. In the often turbulent world of Ghanaian politics, he was always calm in the storm, a voice of reason, a voice of restraint, and a voice of hope. His was not the politics of insults or vengeance, but the politics of service, compassion, and reconciliation. Even in the face of provocation, he responded not with anger, but with grace. Even when confronted with betrayal or disappointment, he remained steadfast in upholding his principles. He never allowed power to change who he was. He remained until his last breath a servant of the people, a man of peace, a man of God, and a man of Ghana. As his vice president and one who worked very closely with him, I saw these values in action every day. I witnessed his concern for the most vulnerable in society, his tireless efforts to extend opportunity to every Ghanaian, regardless of background. He was not loud, he was not flamboyant. He believed that leadership should be lived and not performed. Professor Mills governed this country with a deep moral compass. He placed truth over expedience, and he puts people over politics. And he placed the country over self. These are the lessons that continue to resonate, particularly in these times when our politics can be very divisive and disconnected from the hopes of the ordinary Ghanaian. As we stand here at his resting place, we must ask ourselves, what does it mean to truly honor the memory of this great man? It is not enough for us to lay wreaths at his grave once a year. It is not enough for us to sing his praises in death. The most authentic tribute we can give Professor John Atta Mills is to carry forward the values that he held dear. Is to rekindle the spirit of humility and accountability. rekindled the spirit of ethical leadership that he exemplified. He believed in justice, not just as a legal principle, but as a way of life. He believed that peace was not the absence of conflict, but the presence of fairness and dignity. He believed that the power that was entrusted to leaders should be used to uplift the weak, protect the vulnerable, and give voice to the voiceless. In a world that is increasingly impatient, increasingly loud, and sometimes careless with truth, Professor Mills's life reminds us of the power of stillness, strength in gentleness, and in the enduring force of quiet conviction. Today our country faces many challenges. We inherited an economy in deep distress. We face social divisions that threaten our cohesion and a growing weariness among our people. But if there's one lesson we draw from the life of President Mills, it is that no challenge is insurmountable. When we lead with integrity, when we listen with empathy, and when we govern with principle. It is that lesson that I strive to follow in the reset agenda that we have adopted. So let me say for emphasis that our reset agenda today rests on the foundation of the Better Ghana agenda that was laid by Professor J.E.A. Mills. Asumdwe Park is not just a final resting place, it is a national symbol, a living reminder of what our politics can be and must become. It calls to us to lower our voices and elevate our purpose. It calls on us to be kinder and more accountable, and to remember that in the end, leadership is about legacy, and it's not to be found in statues or slogans, but in the lives of the people that we touch and the examples that we leave behind. To the family of President Mills, we continue to share in your grief and we honor your strength. Your loss was not only yours, it was Ghana's loss. And we will continue to walk with you as we keep his memory alive. To the people of Ghana, let us recommit ourselves to the Ghana that Professor Mills believed in. A Ghana that is united in diversity, strong in values, and anchored in peace. And to Professor Mills, our father, our leader, our teacher, I say, rest well. You may be gone from our sight, but you're never gone from our hearts. Your work lives on in us, and your legacy will continue to light our path. May the soul of Professor J.E.A. Mills rest in perfect peace. Amen.
So that's President John Dramani Mahama, who was vice to the late Professor John Evans Atta Mills when he was president, and who passed away on 24th July 2012. At the time, the General Secretary of the NDC was Johnson Asiedu Nketia, the chairman, Dr. Kwabena Eje, who was also passed. Today at the commemorative and wreath-laying ceremony, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, now chairman of the NDC, spoke about the late Professor Mills.
Exactly a year ago, when I was invited to give a brief comments as I'm doing at this commemoration, I struggled to contain my anger about what I saw in the morning. But I mustered enough courage to declare that what we were seeing on that day will be the last time any such thing will happen at the commemoration of the passing of the King of Peace. Because for the past so many years, we have had to endure the contradiction of commemorating the passing of a man of peace in the midst of some confusion. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, today the story is different. And in my mathematical lessons in school, we were taught that when there is a formula that contains constants and variables, where the answer changes, that change in answer can only be attributable to the change in the variables. So the formula for the celebration of this event has remained the same formula. The date, 24th July, has remained the same. The true family of Professor Mills has remained the true family of Professor Mills. The leadership of the National Democratic Congress has remained the leadership of the National Democratic Congress. The only, and I guess to say that my former deputies have remained my former deputies. The only variable that has changed is the swapping of positions of two very important people in this country. And they just swapped their positions perfectly. One from a former president to the sitting president. And the other one from the sitting president to a former president. So if this celebration is happening in a peaceful atmosphere, that is the true reflection of the lives and beliefs of Professor Mills. Then your guess is as good as mine as to who was the cause of the confusion in the past. I have peace in my mind, peace in my heart, and I believe that Professor Mills is enjoying peace in his grave.
The words of Johnson Asedu Nketia, General Secretary, National now Chairman of the National Democratic Congress. Earlier you had President John Dramani Mahama. That will be it by way of Eyewitness News tonight, which came to you from our studios in Accra. I am Omar Rusanda Amadou. I did this with the Jubi Wiafia Kentin. Production by Beverly London, Sami Wiafi, Kovina Wilson, Juliana Odamia Sari, and Mano Ayama assisting. Technical support from Daniel Squashi, new media support from Imano Usu and the new media team. We'll be back tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening and have a good night.
Citi News.